Hello everyone and welcome to this week's edition of the Village Law SEQFC preview show. I'm Darren Lutton, I'm the one that asks the questions and we've got three guests who will answer them. We've got our usual fellow admin, Liam Parslow. Liam, good evening sir.
Hey guys, how are you? Good to see you all.
Good. We've got Jason Hall back from the Southwest Queensland Thunder. Good evening Jason.
Evening Darren.
Great to have you on board. Oh, here comes Tony Jorkas. We might throw him in as well. He'll take a minute. Whilst he's getting all set, we'll introduce Paul Arneson, who's the coach of the Wanderers. How you going, Paul?
Good evening, Darren. Good evening, guys. How are you all?
Good.
Thanks.
Now, it's great to have you with us tonight, Paul. I understand Wednesday is your one day off.
Well, technically, yes, but we've had the players in tonight for a recovery session at 6 o'clock. So, yeah, I've done my household chores throughout the day, and then obviously recovery session tonight. So, even cooked the meal.
Good stuff. Good evening, Tony. Thanks for joining us.
How are you?
Glad you could join us, Tony.
It's a pleasure, mate. I had religious beliefs last week. I couldn't do it.
I enjoyed some souvlaki the other night.
I tell you, you should have been at my place on Sunday. There was a whole lamb going round and round the whole day.
All right, let's get back to Paul Arneson. The Sunshine Coast Wanderers. Tell me, mate, what does a recovery session look like for your club?
Well, normally on Mondays, we've got a partnership with the Sunshine Coast University in Sipley Downs, which is obviously great facilities. They've got a 50-metre pool, a 25-metre pool, hot and cold, and they've got a high-performance centre that we're really lucky to to use both men and women. I said we didn't play at the weekend, and obviously played last night against Moreton Bay, so they were kind enough to get us in tonight at 6 o'clock. We had the boys in there for 20 minutes in the gym, stretching and stuff, and then obviously into the cold pool tonight, which wasn't very pleasant for the players, but something that we're extremely happy to use and grateful, because as I say, it is a great benefit, I believe. With such a short turnaround of game, we've got obviously a game on Saturday against Penn Power, so hopefully it'll do the boys the world of good, even though they probably won't feel it tonight. They'll be freezing cold, I'm sure.
How long does a recovery session last?
We normally do about 45 minutes, so we'll do 15-20 minutes stretching in the high performance centre, and then 10 minutes in the cold, 10 minutes in the hot, and then finish off with 10 minutes in the cold again. So it depended on how big of a game it was and how heavy the legs feel after the game. Obviously last night the pitch was very heavy after obviously the weekend's rain and stuff, so they just went in the cold for 10 minutes tonight. Yeah, so I'm sure they'll benefit. They probably won't feel it tonight, but tomorrow when we do a lighter session in preparation for Saturday's game, I'm sure they'll benefit from it greatly.
And speaking of last night, you must be thrilled with a magnificent 3-1 victory over Moreton Bay.
Yeah, delighted. Obviously going into the game, we hadn't won since we played Redlands away. Obviously we'd had a good point down at Olympic and a good win in the FFA Cup, but yeah, we're up against it last night with a good side in Royce and Moreton Bay, who beat Eastern Suburbs quite comfortably a couple of weeks before, 6-2, 6-3 maybe. So we knew we were up against a good side, and obviously going 1-0 down after 90 seconds to a dubious penalty decision. But then we sort of kicked into gear and scored 3 goals, I think, in 20 minutes, and yeah, we could have been 4 or 5-1 up at half time, and yeah, I was pleased to get the win and get a good result.
I'm smiling there, Paul, because I don't think I've ever heard a coach say we got a penalty. What was the penalty that should have been called against us?
Well, I would say it wasn't a penalty. Royce would say it was a penalty, but sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't. As I say, you've just got to get on. But luckily, look, it was in the first 2 minutes. We had 88 minutes to try and get back into the game, and we rebounded back quickly. Danny Cutler scored a couple of great goals, and obviously Riley Campbell stuck one away against his former club. So as I say, going in at 3-1 at half time, it was a good scoreline, but it's a tricky scoreline because the next goal in that game can be decisive if it goes to Moreton Bay. it's game on. They've got a bit of momentum. Obviously, we were down to 10 men at this point. Ethan getting sent off for a headbutt after about 35 minutes, which didn't help the cause. But, you know, second half, we managed to hold out and really dig in it at times, you know, to stop Martin Beg, you know, getting a second goal and getting a bit of momentum behind them. And I think, you know, that's where the recovery will come in good tonight. Going back to the recovery, it's obviously boys work hard for 60 minutes with 10 men. So I'm sure that, yeah, they'll be feeling tonight and obviously tomorrow.
And before we get to the other fixtures, tell us about the Wanderers' experience in the NPL. You had a couple of years trying to get out of the FQPL. You got there, you've survived. Do you feel that you're now at that next level where you can start, you know, feeling comfortable playing in the NPL?
I wouldn't say comfortable yet. Obviously, last year was a bit of a roller coaster ride. Obviously, the first year, great first season for myself coming in. Obviously, winning the QPL, getting promoted to the NPL, and we lost a lot of players from that season. Going into the NPL, a lot of experienced players had retired and wanted to play locally with their mates on a Friday night. So it was a big turnaround of players. Quite a young side last year. In a way, COVID helped us a little bit. We brought, you know, Tyson Holmes in and Mitch Cooper, two experienced players, you know, to help these young boys and steady the ship a little bit after, you know, let's say we struggled at the start. I think it was 60 feet in 6. So yeah, it was a bit of a roller coaster season last year, but I think now we're starting to get to grips with it. The boys from last year will be more experienced and better for that. You know, they're only some of them are 17, 18, 19-year-old. You know, people forget that they're only young kids with 10 or 15 appearances, you know, in the NPL against some really good players, some really good sides with you know, big budgets and things like that. But you know, this year we seem to have found a little bit more belief that we can, you know, take it against the better teams. You know, not just going there and hanging on and, you know, down at Olympic. You know, we've gone there and got a really good 0-0 draw. Yes, we rode our luck at times and they missed a few chances, but you know, sometimes you make your own luck with the hard work you put in the you know, the good team performance. So yeah, we're still not there yet. Obviously, a long way to go. But I think the more better results like we got last night against Morton Bay will surely give the boys a lot of confidence going into, you know, the big games like Powers and Olympics and Lions and Gold Coast Knights. But yeah, still a long way to go.
The FFA Cup draw was done tonight. We'll get to that before we move on to the NPL. You drew Surfers Paradise Apollo, the Gold Coast Club. They've got a massive journey. You don't want to play this one they don't want the game played on a Tuesday night. So, you're happy with that draw? They're a good team.
Yeah, listen, it's a tough draw. Probably one of the toughest draws because, as I say, so they've got a long way to come on a Tuesday night. But yeah, they've got some good players. I think they beat Mitchie in the last round, maybe 4-0, 4-1. So yeah, they're going to be up for it. They'll want to obviously beat an NPL side. So it's going to be a tough draw. I think, you know, all the teams in the last 12, they're going to be a tough draw, whoever they are, whether it's a QPL side or a Gold Coast side or an NPL side. It's a cup game. Anything can happen. It's a one-off game, you know. Seen it before, so we won't take them lightly. We'll do our homework, but yeah, I'm expecting a tough game.
I'll run through the other fixtures, and Tony, I'll throw you in here to get your opinion on which games stick out for you. Got Logan up against Lions, Gold Coast Knights against Holland Park Hawks, Brisbane City against South West Queensland Thunder, Southside Eagles up against Olympic, Penini Power against Ipswich Knights. Yes, those are the 6 fixtures, and then there's the next round. Tony, which games do you like from there?
The Lions game's an interesting one.
Which one? Power and Knights?
Yeah, I think the Knights will be up for it. I mean, one-off game, but I reckon the Gold Coast Surfers Paradise team against the Sunny Coast will be too. I should just play that in Brisbane. It might be the only interesting one going to. Well, there should be looking at that draw, there should be some lopsided results. You think Southside Eagles won't get near Olympic?
No, not on current form. I think
No,
I think look, Knights will be in it early with Penn Power, but yeah, I think eventually they'll be a lopsided towards Power. But
Yeah.
as I said off air, is that what you said on a pod? I don't know. You never know. Magic of the cup, as they say, and Knights have got a pretty good squad as we've seen, and so that'll be an interesting matchup for sure. Hawks with the Knights. That's going to be. I think that one's going to be lopsided. I think Hawks are probably lucky to be up this far into it, to be honest. And same with the Eagles. Again, it depends on the draw, doesn't it? Really, So.
And Jason, how do you feel about the Thunder having to travel to Brisbane City?
There was a lot of good teams in that last 12, and we were pretty happy with the draw up against Brisbane City. Obviously, at the start of this FQPL season, most good pundits are sort of picking us, City, and probably Rochedale to be the teams to beat. We've played City already once this year. They got us 1-0 at home, and we're looking forward to playing them, and then that even beyond. I think our next game then's either Lions or Logan, so that'll be interesting as well. Obviously, we had a couple of crackers against Logan last year, and Lions are sort of the benchmark in the NPL, have been for the last couple of seasons. So, yeah, look, we're really looking forward to it, and hoping we can get the result down in Brisbane City, and then a home game to get into the round of 32.
Should be great. All right, let's get into the NPL. Some interesting results on the weekend. A few close games. The only game that wasn't close was Brisbane Royal Youth up against Magpies. But Olympic dropped points again, Tony. A 3-3 against Lions FC. Of course, there are no pushovers. But
No.
Olympic.
They need a striker. I tell you what, how would you feel if you were the Lions reserve keeper? They kept the bloke on one leg on the field for 90 minutes.
He wasn't bad with one leg, though.
No?
He wasn't bad with one leg.
I still reckon he would have saved the first one. He got chipped for the first one. I reckon if he was right, he would have saved it.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Olympic still lack an out striker, in my opinion. Might have to break the bank.
They were 3-0 down at one stage, weren't they, Olympic?
No, 2-0 down.
2-0 down.
2-0 down, was it? Okay, so they managed to come back and get a point out of it. So
I think the turning point was the missed penalty.
yeah. Okay.
Because the Lions scored from that, it was all over again.
Yeah. Okay.
I was at Capalaba for the match for the Dogs against Logan Lightning, and Capalaba got a late equaliser. Logan were the better team for the time that I were there. They looked much better organised, but Capalaba, they just it's a cliche, the Bulldog spirit that they shone through. They fought it out, and well deserved their point in the end. So great to see Capalaba doing so well. I mean, I know I predict them to go down this season, but looking at the ladder, I think they're on 10 points now, in 8th place. Doing wonderfully well.
Gold Coast and strikers. I mean, strikers. I think we've already resigned to the fact that they're not going to win a game this season. We don't think the way things are going there. It's going to take a lot. It's going to take a big upset for them to get any results. I think this season. I don't know. We've talked to them at length, so I don't know how much more we can talk about them, to be honest.
Peninsula Power and Gold Coast Knights equal top on 18 points. Penny Power have a game in hand. Let's look at this weekend's games. Now, Paul, you referenced earlier that you were taking on Peninsula Power this weekend. How are you going to approach this game?
Yeah, we're planning on taking a double-decker bus and just stick it in front of the goal.
I was about to say that. Get a double-decker, get 2 of them in fact, and just park them right across.
I don't think we can afford 1. Never mind 2. But no, listen, I've watched most of the games, on NPL TV and stuff, and yeah, they're a formidable side. I think they've only conceded 4 or 5 goals, so they've got first and foremost, they've got a great coaching staff, great bunch of players. For us, it's a free hit. Nobody expects us to get anything. It was a bit like Olympic a couple of weeks ago. We went down with a bit of a game plan, trying to, not chase the ball, because if you do go and chase the ball, they'll just play it around you, and try and pick and choose our moments when to attack at the right times. But yeah, we're no illusions. It's going to be a tough game, but And we've got 1 or 2 missing this week. Obviously, Ethan, big striker, suspended. So we'll obviously see what the bodies are like tomorrow night, see who needs a rest, see who wants to play. And then we'll pick a team from there. And obviously, we've got a big couple of games coming up at home against Eastern Suburbs and Mackay Crusaders. So they're the ones, that we really need to pick points up from. But as I said, Pen Power for me is a free hit. Let's go and give it a right good go and see what happens.
Looking at the other fixtures, Redlands United hosting Capalaba, Logan up against Brisbane Royal Youth, Moreton Bay play Lions, Gold Coast United up against Gold Coast Knights. It's the derby.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
East's up against Magpies, and Olympic hosting Brisbane Strikers.
That is going to be a bloodbath.
If Olympic are going to flex their muscles, if they don't flex them this week, there's a problem there.
Yeah.
Jason, out of those games, was there any that caught your eye then?
Look, I think the Gold Coast derby, even though Gold Coast Knights probably haven't performed as well this year as what they would have hoped, they always seem to pick up for that game. And Knights are obviously travelling along under the radar like they seem to do every year, and no one seems to be talking about them, but they're always near the top of the table. So I think that game will be a cracker.
Yeah, I think we're probably talking a little bit too much about Olympic, and we need to
avoid
talk more about Power and Knights.
I think you should talk about Lions. They play Moreton Bay this week, aren't they?
Yeah, away.
Yeah, well, it depends which Moreton Bay team turns up every week, eh? They got touched up last night.
Yeah.
They're due for a good performance on the weekend.
Yeah. Depends, as you said, it depends which Moreton Bay turns up. Logan Lightning and Raw. I think Raw will get ahead with that one. It'll be a tough match, but Raw are on pretty good form at the moment. When's the last time that they lost a game? I can't remember.
They've only lost one. Second best defensive record in the comp, conceding only 6 in 7 games.
Yeah, well, that's probably because all their front line's probably in the Raw starting squad. So that'll be good. That'll be a good matchup. Eastern Suburbs and Magpies Crusade. I think Magpies always come out strong, but they tend to fade away at the end just with their lack of experience. So yeah, I'm going to go Eastern Suburbs with a 3-0 with that one.
All right, let's turn our attentions now to the FQPL. I was at Carmichael Park on Friday night to see Wynnum Wolves get their first win of the week of the season over Southside Eagles.
Yeah, isn't that good? So and Mitchie as well.
Yeah, now this was similar to the Logan game. The Southside Eagles, I thought, were organisationally the better team, but Wynnum Wolves just stuck it out and grafted the win and got the points, and it could be a bit of a launching pad for them now. Look out for Wolves over the next few weeks. Ipswich Knights, massive 7-0 win at Home Park. And Jason, Thunder got up over the Pride. We'll let you speak to it first, and Liam can throw in his reply.
It was a pretty decent game. Pride are a good team. Probably no real superstars in there. Asante, the Italian guy they got in the midfield, is probably their standout player, but very strong team. Football's a funny game, and that gets said a lot. But I think Pride actually played better against us in the FFA Cup game that we won 4-1 than what they did last weekend when we won 2-1. We had a lot of chances and didn't put them away. I don't think we ever felt like we were going to not get points out of the game, but it was still a close game, and I think Pride are going to be up there in that sort of top half of the draw if they battling out for that sort of 3rd or 4th spot, maybe with Ipswich Knights.
Yeah, I think with that during that match, as you know, mate, we lost Jake to injury. He thought that he actually broke his leg, but he hasn't. But so I haven't heard how long he's out for, but I don't expect him to be playing this weekend. at the very least. And then we also and then his backup keeper Josh Boyle as well. I think slipped. I heard. I never watched the game. I think he slipped in the tunnel.
In the tunnel, yeah, slipped in the tunnel.
So he's our backup keeper. So again, the Pride drums haven't been beating very loud this week. So I don't know what's happened with him either, whether he's out or not. So Pride may be without their two top keepers for the next couple of weeks, which is going to be critical. So I don't know whether they're going to have an emergency keeper come in, or again promote someone up from lower down. I'm not sure. So look, I think that's going to play into the hands of Souths this weekend. Souths will know that we may not have our top keeper there. No one really can direct the back line like Jake can, as we know from his experience that he has. So yeah, it's going to be a very critical few weeks for Pride. Plus, they got the Derby again next the week after, which we can talk about, which I guess we'll talk about next week. But yeah, very for the next 2 weeks, Pride are going to be they're going to be worried. I think. Well, I'm worried.
I think the one thing that Pride did get on the weekend, I saw Brian Hastings, the coach, his son actually came on the end of the game. Mikhail, he was quite dangerous. He actually scored the goal, and he looked dangerous every time he touched the ball. I think he's going to be a big asset for Pride this year. Yes,
yeah, it's his first game. He's got a lot of experience, a lot of overseas experience. He's played in America as well, I think. So, that'll be a great addition. But you got to keep him out, So, if you can bang him in one end, you have to save him on the other. As that's the game we love, and so I'm just a bit concerned about how they're going to go the next few weeks.
The other fixtures this weekend, Southside Eagles have the Friday night game up against Mitchelton. That should be a cracker. Holland Park Hawks hosting Brisbane City, Pride South. Sunny Coast Fire up against South West Queensland Thunder. And Rochedale Rovers hosting Ipswich Knights, with the Wolves having the bye. Jason, what do you know about the Fire?
Yeah, well, look, until last night's game against Mitchie, we were thinking that Fire were going to be a bit of a dark horse in the competition this year. They've kind of, I guess, I'm sure they didn't do it, take a leaf out of our book, but they've done similar to what we've done at Thunderfield a few years ago, and decided just to concentrate on local players. I see they've got a lot of players out of their local competition in that side now, and they seem to be gelling quite well as a side. But Mitchie, who haven't won a game until last night, put them to the sword a bit last night. So, possibly good signs for us. I hope our boys weren't watching the game, but they're going in there tough. But look, it's always a really tough trip up to the sunny coast. Obviously, from Toowoomba, it's our biggest trip away. They always play us at 4:30 on a Sunday afternoon on that little pitch out the back there at Kawana. So it's always a tough gig. I mean, that's probably the game that cost us promotion last year. We really should have won that game. We lost it 2-1, and in the end, those points were the points that cost us getting promoted. So we won't be taking it easy.
There's a lot of teams that struggle on that Sunshine Coast pitch. I know that Pride's had a few issues over the years because it's so narrow,
so small. It takes away all of our advantage.
Like that gameplay that you're so used to playing, and all of a sudden you get up there. Well, 4 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon puts everything out the window, doesn't it?
Probably just a question for Paul, if he's still listening. Obviously, up here in Toowoomba, we were lucky enough just to have the one sort of team up in the NPL, QPL. With the two teams in the sunny coast, how's that working out? I know you spent some time at the Fire, and obviously now at Wanderers. There seems to be quite a division on the coast. Anyone of my mates I talk to up there, they're all Wanderers supporters. No one seems to like the Fire too much. How's all that turning out this year?
Yeah, there is a bit of a division, I think. There's a bit of a rivalry. But yeah, as I said, DK's gone in there. Daniel, obviously from his stint at BG's, and brought quite a few local boys in there. And they do seem to be really good, close-knit group, the Fire boys. They're good off the field. I think they socialise together and stuff. And a few of the boys are at one of Brady Cronk, one of the players who plays for Fire. They're at his wedding at the weekend. So there's a big, tight-knit group there in with Dan. And I thought they would do all right this year because of that togetherness. But yeah, there is a rivalry between obviously the two clubs. There's no doubt about it. But we just try and concentrate what we're doing over at the Wanderers. But yeah, it was nice to see the Fire get beat last night, actually. Made it a good night all round.
Be good to see a few Wanderers supporters down watching our game in the weekend, cheering on Thunder. Then,
yeah, well, we play Saturday night, so I'm sure one or two of the boys will go down and watch, because as I say, a few of the boys in the team, Jeremy Stewart's got a few mates that play for Fire. You know, Ethan and Josh Forshy, few boys from Caloundra that play there as well. But yeah, it's a healthy rivalry. You know, there's a bit of banter that goes on between the two sets of players and stuff. But yeah, just look, it is where it is. We're in the MPL, they're in the QPL trying to get out. But yeah, I think it's a tough league to get out the QPL. You know, we were lucky, you know, to get out when we did get out and get promoted, because you know, it's, as I say, it is a tough league. Some good players. And you're right, the Sunny Coast isn't a good place to go on a Sunday afternoon at a wet, cold, windy, horrible bobble at Kowana Precinct. It's a leveler. You know, it's not great at all.
So we put our return fixture on a Sunday afternoon up here in Toowoomba in the middle of winter this year too. So just to repay the favour.
Works both ways, yeah.
And I hope it's the coldest, windiest, foggiest night. Much worse than it was the other night.
It's 8 degrees up here at the moment, so it's going to be cold another month.
And of course, that is the largest, greatest distance between two clubs in this catchment. Mackay excluded, of course, but Sunshine Coast up against the Thunder. All right, let's turn now to the FQPL 2. And looking at results on the weekend, Sanford lost at home to Magic United. Good win for Magic. Grange Thistle had a 1-0 win over Taringa. Another good win for the away team. Virginia had a 6-2 win over Coomera. And the North Star Caboolture game got washed out.
Isn't that twice now, isn't it? The second time it's been washed out, isn't it? It was washed out. Was it? No? I don't know. They had it ready to go earlier in the week, and then they got cancelled again. I don't know, because I saw Terry Kirkman was in Melbourne.
Terry was flying back yesterday in the game, but they were supposed to play up there, got pulled off.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, okay, yeah. He was in Melbourne in the morning and had to be at up at North Star in the afternoon.
Yeah.
He's like, well, if I know it was going to be cancelled because his parents are well, his parents aren't well, so I think he would have well stayed in Melbourne if he knew the game was going to be taken off.
So looking at the ladder, Taringa and Grange Caboolture are on joint top. Grange Thistle have made their move. They've slipped into third place. So could be a three-way contest developing. Magic United fourth on 9. Coomera Colts currently, if one team goes back to, it's going to be interesting. If it's a Gold Coast club that's in the promotion places the relegation places, and they lose their playoff, get back to the Gold Coast competition, space needs to be made for them in there. Anyway, you know where I'm going with all that.
Again, it comes back to the clubs that were selected to make up the FQPL too.
Exactly. The people of the Gold Coast say, no, we don't want you back. Could happen. Who knows? Anyway, this weekend, Caboolture are hosting Taringa. Cracking game. Magic United up against Grange Thistle. Cracking game. Yeah. North Star up against Coomera, and Virginia up against Stanford. Cracking game.
All of them are.
3 out of 4 ain't bad there, guys.
It's going to be good. That Caboolture Taringa's one's going to be. It's going to be an impressive match, I reckon.
What time is that on?
That's Saturday, Moreton Bay Central Sports Complex at 5:15.
5:15, yeah, Saturday.
I've got to tell my Olympic scouts to go up and watch it.
There's a guy named Ramon Close up there. No one's heard of him before.
No, but what about that boy? But what about that boy at Taringa, the Greek boy?
Oh, I see. We've certainly mentioned him plenty of times on the show.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's pretty much it for tonight. Paul, while we've still got you, you mentioned there the rivalry that you've got with the Fire. What about the other clubs there on the Sunshine Coast? Do you find that all the club teams choose either the Wanderers or the Fire and go to their games as well?
We certainly on a Sunday afternoon, because obviously the local league play Saturday nights 6 o'clock. We tend to get a lot of the local boys come down to watch us on a Sunday afternoon. I know again we play at 4:15, 4 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon. We tend to get a decent crowd on a Sunday, which is good. We had quite a few there last night, and again, just like mates of boys who play locally, we've managed to bring 3 or 4 boys in from Noosa this year. So obviously that helps. That helps out. We had, as I say, we had Nick Arden there last night, Michael Scarf, Ray Schultz. Probably watching Taylor Walkinshaw, who obviously plays at Moreton Bay now. But yeah, we do get a good local crowd, and that they do tend to come out and support us on a Sunday afternoon, especially if we've had a couple of good results, which we have done. As I said, last night 7:30 kickoff. It was a nice night, not too cold, so we had a good crowd there. We're expecting if we can get a good performance against Power, then we play East at home the following Sunday. We'll get a decent crowd. The junior kids tend to hang around, and especially if they're at home that day or not too far away, yeah, we get a good little following. So it is good. I'm not sure about the Fire on a Sunday afternoon or whenever they play all their games. We get a good little crowd.
I have to agree with Arnie. It's made a massive difference for us here at Thunder as well. A couple of years back, as I said, we sort of decided to really just concentrate on our local players and do the best we could with those, and they really performed. But it's actually brought all of the community clubs a lot closer to Thunder. We get a lot of the local teams now come and support Thunder, and our crowds are getting bigger and bigger. So sort of broke down a lot of those barriers. Like a lot of players didn't want to come to Thunder. They saw us as their opposition when we first started, but now they actually see it as a pathway and a club to support at a higher level. So it's been really good getting those local boys involved.
Local clubs selecting local players. What a concept.
Yeah.
All right, we might wrap up the show there, guys. Tony and Liam, thank you as per usual for your company.
No problem.
Jason Hall, thanks for your wealth of knowledge.
Anytime.
Good stuff. And Paul Arnie, good luck for the rest of the season, mate. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Paul.
Darren. Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Good
gents.
stuff.
See you guys.
All right.
Good
So
luck.
this has been the Football Queensland edition of the Village Law SEQFC preview show. We will see you next week.